You guys, the way I could not believe what my TikTok feed was showing me during my lunch break today. We have to talk about this Miss Universe Sash Ceremony drama that went down today. I'm walking in a pageant in January, let me remind you. Actually, I've been in and out of pageants throughout this whole year. You could even call this my pageant year, if you will. Yeah, I've been in 3 pageants so far, smaller ones, and then we have the huge one in January, right? So for those of you who don't know, I'm walking in a traditional Chinese and Japanese wear pageant where they have different factions like the kimono division, and I'm going to be walking in the China dress division, as they call it here in Japan, or the Qipao dress division. So that is pretty much what the rest of my extracurricular hours for the rest of this year is going to be filled with, is preparation for that pageant. So the fact that this Miss Universe drama went down today, I don't know, is that a sign? Or should I be worried? Hold on a second. Let me just check my see if my live is actually on. Am I recording? Wait. I gotta check. I learned from last time. I'm gonna check on my phone. I'm actually streaming. Is my connection weird? Or hold on. No, not today. See, it's not letting me enter my own live stream on my oh my god, on my cell phone. And I don't see a counter thing. Okay, I see now it says live. And then let me pull up. Okay, so hold on, this one is better. I took a screen. Okay, I see there's 2 people in here. So that means I'm going live, right? Let me just see like where I'm situated, because StreamYard makes no sense to me whatsoever. It like mirrors my image. So even though I think I'm over here, the video is actually recording me over here or something. I just want to make sure I'm not covering the materials. And I've made a pledge to myself to stream more and just create more content this month. Vlogs, right? Although I'm not putting that pressure on myself to post every single day, but I'm just gonna go with the flow and challenge myself. So this is driving me crazy. Sorry, I'm actually gonna get a different phone. Because I don't know why my own cell phone is not allowing me to enter my own live stream on YouTube. Don't worry, I'll put timestamps down below for people who are watching on the replay. Okay, great. So it says I'm live.
Dreaming of thrill?
I just gotta see where I am on the screen, and then I'll be able to... Okay, so why am I still, like, small? See, this is what I don't like. Layout. I want to make myself bigger. No. Oh, wait. Okay, so there I am. Add media slot. Okay, I added it. Why is this not cooperating? Oh, God. We're back here again. Okay. No, this is not the balance that I want.
Can shut. If you follow the order from your national director, you are damaged.
Okay. I'm at my wit's end with ScreenYard, you guys. Like, what? Oh my God, why can't I not control the size? Wait, hold on. I think I'm getting somewhere. So sorry, guys. But practice makes perfect, right? So from next time onwards, I'm going to be more prepared and well-versed in CapCut, hopefully. Okay. What the actual... So if I start playing...
I give you opportunity to talk, please. Why does it want to make me tiny? I don't understand. Why can't I just be like slightly bigger? Okay, you know what? I give up. we're just going to play the video. So I'm going to play the video we're going to watch together, and I might pause periodically so that we can make commentary. And now I just want to say, for those of you who are new here, before you get in your feelings, okay, we don't let our emotions rule us on this channel. We don't get butthurt over like dumb, inconsequential things. Just because I point things out, it doesn't mean I'm supporting or I'm in favor of, you know, the villain in the story. It doesn't mean I'm victim blaming. But I just want to remind you all that typically whenever a news story breaks and the vast majority of the masses kind of like run with one side of the narrative. So in this case, everyone's talking about how this director of Miss Universe organization, who is this Thai businessman named Nawat. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. So, of course, again, I'm not defending his actions. I don't know this person. I don't know his history. So if anyone has insight, actually, feel free to add to the discussion. But yeah, like you have to be careful not to let yourself get carried away with the mob mentality. So the fact that everyone kind of immediately jumped on the bandwagon to say that this guy is like the most horrible chauvinist pig to exist in the history of the world. Meanwhile, we have people like Donald Trump running the entire country of the US for his second term, not just the first term, but second term. So let's suspend our, like, let us, you know, try to shed all of your preconceived notions about this case before we start looking at the video. Try to come in with a clean slate and put our critical thinking caps on. Not everything is always as it seems on the surface level, okay? Again, it's not me defending or taking up for anyone or saying that men are better than women or women are better than men. None of that. I want us to just look at what's going on with through a critical lens that's not biased, okay? Leave behind all of the other possible, you know, preconceived notions and possible ways that you may have been influenced without even knowing it by all of the early reporters on this case, in which they immediately just sort of like villainized this guy and made him the entire problem in the situation. There's a lot of nuance here that I feel like it happens. This type of a misunderstanding, these types of mishaps, I don't know if you would call it a misunderstanding or a miscommunication or even a culture clash, but these things happen a lot in sort of international contexts. And again, not to, I mean, I might as well give up on the disclaimers because people are going to be offended if they want to be anyway. But yeah, like not to generalize or anything, not to perpetuate a negative stereotype, but typically, like, when it's an international forum that has to do with something like business or you know, maybe some sort of trade show, like that level of get together, usually these types of miscommunications don't transpire, or this type of a like dramatic meltdown type of event. It would not happen in more quote unquote like elite or elevated events such as business networking. Again, I'm not saying that a beauty pageant is like not respectable or anything like that. I myself am participating in pageants all throughout this year, and I quite enjoy it, to be honest with you. Of course, it's on a much smaller scale than the Miss Universe pageant, so I'm sure the whole culture and the vibes are totally different. But like, there's a reason why when you get a lot of people together from different countries and different cultures, if it's centered around something like business or something high level, something intellectual, right? Like an AI robotics forum, or yeah, anything that has to do with like using your mental faculties, like talk about trade and business, those types of
events, people tend to have more emotional self-control in those environments, right? So it's not even to say that no racism or no misunderstandings, no chauvinism, misandrism happens at all in those settings. It's just that people tend to control their emotions better. So even if like it becomes irrelevant almost, right? If somebody may have said something off color that people could take it a wrong way in business type events, like, or in more I don't know what to call it, like high class elite circle type of events, like F1 racing or something like that, or like equestrian, a horse racing. In those circles, people tend to lead more with their strategy and with their logic more so than emotions. Whereas something like a Miss Universe pageant, it's very much so centered around kind of the opposite type of thing. As opposed to like a business forum, it's more about show and glitz and glamour, right? Of course, that's the nature of a beauty pageant. Nothing wrong with that. But because it is more like focused on the external in a way, I feel like it's also more prone to tiny little misunderstandings getting blown out of proportion. And then now everyone is on a hate train towards this guy. No, what? Was that his name? I can't even remember. Yeah, what? So now like the entire world is canceling this director of the Miss Universe organization. Meanwhile, we never heard of this guy. We never knew his name before the story broke. So yeah, I just want all to take a minute and calm down and put on our critical thinking caps. And I'm gonna go through this and try to break it down for all of us. Feel free to chime in as always. Okay, we are at 17 minutes and I'm finally playing the video. All right, I mean, I've had rockier starts before. All right, let's go.
Can shut. If you follow the order from your national director, you are the man.
Okay, stop right there. Just to give you a little backstory if you haven't heard the news. So he says, if you follow the orders from your national director, you are dumb. It sounds like dummy or dumbhead, but there have been reports. I kind of I was looking through Reddit before this, and I think also, so I'm gonna play 3 videos in total. This one where this is the live stream where the whole like misunderstanding and her getting very upset that he was disrespecting her, in her words, and then the other Miss Universe contestants from the other countries stood up and walked out of the room with her in solidarity. So this is where the drama first went down. Then I'm gonna play you the TikTok apology that this Nawat guy issued later, and then also I think he issued an apology on stage to all of the contestants. So I'm actually kind of confused now because I don't understand, like, I'm not sure what the actual timeline was like. I was under the impression that this live stream happened earlier today, but then now all of a sudden we already have like 2 apology videos from him. So I'm not sure, did this happen a few days ago or what was the entire time span of the occurrence of these events? But anyway, it's not that important. So to give you a little background info, let me pull up this article that I have here because I cannot remember the details. Okay, so basically what happened is that this guy, Nawat, right? Okay, let's just from the beginning. So Miss Universe 2025 is being hosted in Thailand this year, and apparently the head of the organization, or I guess his official name is the director, right, of the Miss Universe organization, is this Thai businessman Nawat that you see on the screen right now. So during the sash ceremony, either again last night, I guess, yeah, it was probably last night, or at least maybe a couple nights ago, because I think we can infer that the ceremony happened in the evening, and it's kind of like the ceremony before the big pageant day, I guess. So
at the sash ceremony, this Nawat guy is like standing up and addressing all of the contestants. There's like 75 ladies representing 75 different countries, right? And I think he is expressing his frustration at the fact that there's an expectation that all the contestants are supposed to make a piece of social media content, basically promoting something having to do with the event, or like Thailand, something having to do with the local production. Actually, let me go reference the article that I have right now. Actually, no, this Reddit post has better details. Okay, yeah, so she was supposed to make a sponsored post. All of the contestants were supposed to make a sponsored post that had something to do with like Thailand, I think. So maybe it was just promoting maybe just the event itself, the fact that, hey, we're holding Miss Universe in Thailand today. And I'm sure the hope is that it would, on a larger scale or on a smaller scale, contribute to the overall like soft PR for Thailand as a country, maybe, which is not an uncommon thing. That sounds very par for the course to me. Like even the beauty pageant that I am taking part in this January, our organization also encourages us to make sponsored posts. In fact, there's an influencer award that they're going to be giving out as well. Because, you know, they have like the Grand Prix for the big divisions, like the kimono and the Chipao division. I think there's one more, like Kampuku, Hamfu. Yeah, Hamfu, China dress, and kimono. So there's a Grand Prix award for each division, and then one huge Grand Prix award for the entire contest. That's the winner overall of the pageant. And then a bunch of smaller, like, I don't want to say consolation prizes, but, you know, mini prizes like best influencer award, best outfit, best hair and makeup, that kind of thing. So best influencer award, if you want to, this is what they told us at orientation, right? If you want to be considered, or if you want to have a better shot at winning the best influencer award, you can gain a point by just promoting some of the beauty items that one of our sponsors, which is Infinity, produces. So I wanted to get a point, obviously, and they said that whoever wanted to, you know, get a free point, not free, I mean, you have to do a sponsored post, but whoever wanted to try for the influencer award, come get like a free item, a face mask or a hairbrush, shampoo and conditioner from our sponsor, right? And they had just a bag of like PR beauty goods, essentially. So I got right here, actually. So I got this pack of just face masks, and it's produced by one of our sponsors, Infinity. So I have to post on social media. I have to make a PR post promoting these face masks before November 30th, okay, in order to earn a point towards the influencer award, which would place me in the running to winning that particular award. And so on a larger scale, I can imagine, again, I don't know what contracts did they sign, don't know the legal terms of their agreements, but I am willing to bet that they probably all had to sign some sort of like legal document, legal agreement saying that they would do X, Y, and Z as part of their participation in this pageant, right? So what happened is that a lot of the contestants, including Miss Mexico, which is the young lady at the forefront of all of this news. So Fatima is her name. She is the representative for Miss Mexico. And she is one of the people who did not, I think, like, according to the Miss Universe organization, she did not honor the contract, and she did not post sponsored content of, I guess, whatever local Thai sponsors were involved in giving their support to this Miss Universe pageant competition, which made the director of the event, Nawat, very frustrated, right? So that's what he's addressing here. He's saying that, hey, I noticed that a good number of you did not submit your sponsored social media posts that you were supposed to submit. Again, I don't know if this is like hard set in ink contractual obligation that each one of them has. Again, I personally, I'm inclined to think that they are contractually obligated because it's just such a big production. Miss Universe is like, the beauty pageant to end all pageants, right? It's the Olympics of the beauty pageants. So I can't imagine that they wouldn't have been made to sign legal documents, like a bunch of like sign their name in black ink to bind their agreement to all of the terms that the organization requires them to acquiesce to or to agree with. Why can't I speak tonight? Oh my God. Although I guess I'm matching Nawat's cadence, because if you hear him speak, he has like very slow cadence. So I mean, he's not a native English speaker, so we're not going to hold it against him. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure that they all had to sign some sort of contract in order to even participate in the pageant legitimately, or else, it would cause a lot of problems for both the contestants and the organization if legal agreements weren't put into place, right? You're talking about women from 75 different countries, which all have vastly different governing laws and things of that nature. So it's very important, and I think highly likely, like 99.99% probability, that everyone had to sign a legal contract, which by definition, if you break any terms or if you don't meet any of the stipulations that were set forth in your contract, then you would be rightfully disqualified or something from the competition, right? So again, we're not talking about the manner in which he decided to address this, which you're going to see in a moment. He is very agitated. And yes, maybe as the chairperson, or what's his name, the director, yes, maybe it was like, it's his responsibility to compose himself better. And maybe he could have chosen a more diplomatic way to deal with this. But as far as the facts go, though, I'm inclined to believe that he's telling the truth here, right? He's not just like throwing a tantrum. But anyway, let's keep watching. So he's upset. He's expressing his frustration that, hey, you guys were all supposed to post sponsored content for all these, local Thai vendors, I'm assuming, and a lot of you haven't done it. So I'm wondering, like, why didn't you do it? So then Miss Mexico is trying to explain to him that her organization, her country director, I think, did not authorize her to do that, or like they forbade her from doing it without checking in with them first. So she didn't do it because she didn't want to go against what her country director said, right? Sorry, I'm just like trying to double check. National Director, yeah, is the title. So the National Director of Mexico and some other countries, for whatever reason, they are telling their contestants to do conflicting things to what was agreed upon in their contract with Miss Universe, right? Not only the fact that they are refusing to let their contestants post sponsored content about the local Thai vendors, there was also some scandalous thing about I think Telemundo wanted to promote this online gambling site, and gambling is illegal in Thailand, right? So that's something that is not, I don't know if it's like illegal necessarily to promote a gambling site outside of the country. So maybe there was a gray area there, but that was also a huge point of contention, that some of the contestants were like being called to this upstairs room. There, it's all happening in the same hotel, right? So the Telemundo was occupying this room in one of the floors of the hotel, that some of the contestants, like maybe, I don't know if it's Miss Mexico specifically herself, but definitely like some of the Latin country girls were being called to basically like under the table, underhandedly kind of promote the gambling website behind the Miss Universe pageants organization's back, right? So I'm guessing this is where all of his irritation is coming from, right? Again, not to excuse him singling out Miss Mexico, or, you know, the way that he told all the girls to, like, the way that he spoke to them. Yes, it was very off-putting. It was very much giving like he wanted to feel like he was just the big guy on campus, the man in charge, you know, like maybe there's a power trip element there, that he wanted to just he get off in some way of telling all these beautiful women what to do. But let's keep watching.
I didn't give you to talk. Please keep polite for me. I still talking. I still talking. Listen. I still keep talking to everyone. Stand up to talk to me.
Okay, so he's irritated, right? And he's like, why are you interrupting me? You guys are supposed to, you're in the seats. You're supposed to be listening to me. I'm the one that has the microphone. I'm the MC, right? I'm not disputing that maybe he went a little overboard here, but I don't know. Again, I just want to emphasize that, okay, number one, I do strongly believe, I've never been to Thailand. So if anyone who is Thai in the comments wants to weigh in or chime in, please do so. But I strongly believe that there is maybe a cultural component to this. Not to say that it's an excuse to talk down to the contestants any type of way or take the tone that he took here, but maybe, I don't know, maybe in Thailand, this is what like middle-aged, curmudgeon-y old chairpersons do. And maybe nobody just takes it seriously. That's kind of the intuition that I get. Like, okay, no one is saying that he should talk this way or there's no problem with it whatsoever, but I just get the sense that this is how like old, rich, out of touch guys talk in Thailand. And to me, does that make you like the biggest supervillain in the world? I'm gonna have to say no. I'm gonna have to say no. If it's just a matter of the way that you talk to people, like, yeah, okay, maybe it's not the most pleasant, but at the end of the day, like, okay, the way I look at it is the pageant and the whole event and all the pomp and circumstance, that's for the Miss Universe contestants, right? This whole production is for the girls. It is a stage for them to it is a chance for them to stand on stage and shine, and perhaps even, you know, like for some of the smaller countries, it's a chance for them to really represent and make their country proud. If they're able to win something, right, they can maybe gain more visibility for their country and they become like a ambassador of goodwill. So the event is for the girls, right? And then this guy, obviously, you have an old, rich chairperson type of guy who's in charge of the organization. The way I see it is that, okay, we're all just gonna, you know, you just have to like suck it up and hold your breath, roll your eyes if you have to, but just like sit through whatever speech he has, whatever he wants to say. Like, you just have to grin and bear it and sit through it and like, okay, clap, pat him on the back, and then let him say his piece so that we can continue on with our festivities, because he's irrelevant, right? We have to just give him like the basic, you know, circumstantial acknowledgement, but like just give him his moment, right? Just whatever he wants to say, even if he's not using the right tone or whatever, who gives a shit? You know, it's like, why are you so sensitive? Like, why are you taking it so personally that he's using this tone? It seems like this is just how maybe like old, entitled, rich business guys in Thailand talk. That's honestly, my first guess as to what's going on here. Again, if anyone who is Thai or has lived in Thailand before, feel free to corroborate or refute my claim. But as somebody who has lived in several different cultures, I've worked in multicultural environments my entire life, this type of thing is like, you know, you start to just, the more people from different backgrounds that you come in contact with, the more, like, the less room you have to be a sensitive snowflake, you know? Even if there is something warranted there, even if that the person is doing a microaggression towards you or something, like, at the end of the day, you learn to not take everything so personally. And even if that person, even if the person is kind of displaying bad behavior or just not the best decorum, you learn to not internalize it, right? Because, like, why would you walk around doing that? It doesn't have anything to do with you. So, like, I understand. Okay, I don't even know if he actually called her dumb. I'm gonna call, what's the legal term? Plausible deniability on that. Because he has
The order from your national.
he has a Thai twang to his accent, right? He has a Thai accent. He's not a native English speaker. So I'm not even sure if he meant to say dumb, because the captions say you're a dumb head. That's supposedly what he said to her. That's what she heard. So that's what got her really riled up and upset and caused her to ultimately decide to walk out. But I'm hearing from other reports that he didn't mean to say the words dumb head, which makes sense if you think about it, because it's kind of like an odd pairing of words. I've never heard anybody call anyone a dumb head before. Like, usually it's just either you're dumb, right? Or I can't think of a word with head in it. You're a stupid head, right? But that would be more of a 5-year-old's pattern of speech. So yeah, like, if you were really going to insult someone on stage like that, you would just call them dumb or stupid. I've never heard the words dumb and head be put together, even by an English as a second language speaker. So there are some people that are saying that he didn't mean to say dumb head. He meant to say damage, right? Like damage, but in a very thick accent. So damn head, damn head. Sorry, I'm Googling at the same time.
You are damaged.
You are damaged. But that doesn't make too much sense either, though, so I don't know.
I didn't give you opportunity to talk. Please keep polite for me. I still talking. Listen. I still keep talking to everybody. Why you stand up to talk to me?
To be honest, I don't really see anything wrong with that, because he is the one with the microphone. Like, how would you react or feel if you're the one supposed to be the MC at an event and then people just start talking back at you? And on top of it, again, they have the language barrier, so there's miscommunications happening on it. There's already a disconnect between either party's understanding of what's going on in the conversation. But anyway.
No, you have a voice, but you have to respect the voice.
You are not respecting me as a woman.
What? No, why?
You are not respecting me as a woman. Yeah, again, like, whether it's true or not, what does that have to do? It's a very, God, it's so hard to explain. It's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't take, like, even if he's a chauvinist, kind of bumbling idiot, as he's proven himself to be throughout this whole fiasco, why are you taking it so personally, though? That shows me that you're actually quite, like, there's something in you that's insecure or feels like you don't measure up enough. Because, again, someone's going to come on here and be super upset that I'm victim blaming, but you can't go through life like this, okay? If you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, oh, I'm a badass, self-actualized, self-respecting woman who's super confident in herself, but then at the same time you crumble at like any slight inconvenience, or even anytime that someone talks in a tone that you don't like, you like want to burst out in tears. Not everyone's going to talk in the most polite tone. Like not everyone is going to address you in exactly the way that you want to be addressed. And like to make yourself a victim of something that small, I don't know. But don't worry. I have praise for her as well later on with what she says to the reporter. But I'm just being completely honest, at this particular moment in time, like so far, I'm on the director's side. If I had to pick a side, like so far I'm on his side, because it's like, hey, I'm trying to express to you guys that it's not acceptable for the select number of you that decided to not post your sponsored content, because that was the agreement. Every contestant here is supposed to post content. So why didn't you guys post it, right? I think that's a reasonable thing to ask them. Now, again, maybe he should have gone about it. Maybe he shouldn't have addressed the girls directly. Maybe he should have taken the issue up with the national directors of the certain countries that didn't cooperate. Maybe that would have been a better, more diplomatic way to handle it. But again, we don't know the backstory or the full details. So for whatever reason, he felt that it was crucial enough to bring up here. And she's interrupting him, right? Because I still think, okay, I think it was a misunderstanding. I find it very hard to believe that he just called her a dumbhead. I believe it was a misunderstanding of his pronunciation of the word damaged, which is not that much better, to be fair, but like, I find it very hard to believe that the director would just sell out a girl in the audience and call her a dumbhead.
You stand up. แวนจัดการ security
The security, okay. So yeah, that part, everyone's groaning like, what are you doing? Again, I'm not defending him, but it tracks for me as like a grumpy old entitled rich out of touch business guy. Does it make him the worst villain in the world? I don't think so. I just see it as like, okay, we got to put up with this old man and his tired antics for a while. We just like, everyone just be quiet. How about everyone just be quiet and nod and smile and clap? That way he can get through his little speech faster. And then the faster he finishes, the faster we can continue with our festivities, or what we really came here to do, which is build community with each other and, take selfies, be fabulous. Like you have to listen to him because he's the director and he's rich and he has money. He's probably, he's the one like making this whole event possible financially. So just let's shut up and bite our tongue and grit our teeth and sit through whatever he has to say. You don't even have to listen to it, tune him out. And then when he seems like he's wrapping up his speech, just clap and smile, okay? Then he'll be happy and he will get out of everyone's hair so that you can continue on with the real business, right? But anyway, so he calls security, right? And then everyone is like, oh my God, that's super pretentious. We don't like that. I agree. That was a little bit like, dude, what are you doing? But I think it's obvious that, like, for whatever reason, I think he was very, very, like, I think there's something about the contestants, a number of the contestants not refusing to post the sponsored content about the Thai local sponsors. Something about that, I think it really, really incensed him. Which makes sense from his perspective, because he's looking at it from a holistic business PR perspective. But yeah, so he calls security, right, as kind of like an asshole power play, to be honest. It was an asshole move. But they're not letting him get away with it, right? Because this is, you know what I think? Okay, I think if this was a bunch of local Thai girls, he would be able to get away with this behavior, because not because Thai girls are like weaker or more meek and submissive or something, but because, again, I think it's a cultural thing, right? Like they're used to men like this, that they know the local girls, they would probably just do the tactic that I described, which is just to shut up, okay, pretend that you're cooperating, pretend that you're sorry, like nod, give the sympathetic eyes, like yes, I'm sorry, okay, I will make sure that I post your little BS sponsors. Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Director, you are so great. Clap, and then get him drunk and get him out of there, you know? But like, since it's again, an international crowd, the ladies from the other countries, of course, if they're not used to being talked to like that, or they're not used to this type of a character, or they take it more personally, right? Rather than just kind of like a trait that some Thai rich businessmen happen to have. I can see why they would take it personally and like not, and also, you know, depending on the cultures that they come from, maybe they're not as inclined to kind of suppress their real feelings or hold their tongue as much as people from Asian cultures would tend to do. Because people in, you know, not to generalize, but most Asian cultures, like Pan-Asian, tend to emphasize more collectivism and consideration for the group, like the harmony of the group over the individual. So, okay, so then they all stand up.
Stop. Security. ปิดประตู Stop.
Yo.
But what just your director did is not respectful. He called me dumb.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this was a true, like, simple misunderstanding at the word. I highly doubt that he called her dumb. I do think, now that I've read some posts on Reddit and also from like local Thai commentators, I strongly believe, I'm inclined to believe their claim that he meant to say damage, like you are causing damage to, or you know, you're causing delay, something like that. Like, again, his English is not native level, so the way that he expresses himself might be a little bit more like blunt or stilted than we're used to. But I highly doubt that the actual words dumb head came out of his mouth. But anyway, that's what she heard, right? So the damage is already done at that point. Like, she's with this story in her head, and I do feel bad for her. I mean, if you look at like her face and her entire demeanor in this clip, she's clearly very shaken up. It's taking her a lot of strength just to keep her composure, so I do commend her for that. So let's listen to what she says. I'll be honest, the first half of her speech, I'm like, okay, I find it kind of irrelevant. But then she finishes out her statement to the reporter in a pretty badass way, I feel. So I was rooting for her by the end of this.
Because he had problems with the organization.
He had problems with the organization, yeah. So he's having problems with the country, the different country directors, right? Who are not, you know, they're telling their girls not to post a sponsorship that the Miss Universe organization actually wants and requires everyone to post. So that's a conflict there. And she's saying,
and I think that's not fair, because I'm here and I do everything okay. I just anyone. I just try to be kind. I'm trying to give my best, and he just shot me.
Okay, so she, again, like, she feels personally victimized, right? And she feels like, and of course, I'm aware that English is not her first language either, so I'm not talking about that, but it's very, like, I don't know, it's too emotional for me. But the gag is, at the end of all of this, actually, I think the way that this whole situation played out, it works completely in her favor. And if Miss Universe pageant wasn't on your radar before, it definitely is now. So I don't think you could pay for this level of exposure. I think it's gonna be like, I don't know what you would call it, a landslide viewing of the final Miss Universe. When is it going to be held anyway? The final pageant or runway or whatever. Friday, November 21st. Okay, that's going to be the pageant, right? So this was just the like one of the pre-ceremonies, the sash ceremony. And yeah, sorry, where was I? Oh yeah, the fact that if it was me, like there's no way, it's not, I'm not saying that it's because I have so much self-control. I just literally like, I cannot be brought to give an F about most things, especially if it's some old like pasty looking, you know, plastic surgery up CEO, like Thai billionaire type guy. See, I feel like he definitely has had a lot of work done on his face. So in a way, it kind of signals his solidarity to the Miss Universe brand, does it not? I mean, I feel like, you know, this to me, like he's clearly had some sort of facelift or I don't think this is a good picture, but if you look at other pictures of him, he has quite good skin. I will give that to him. You know, he has a very dewy skin. You know, he's on that 7-step Korean skincare regime. I feel like in a way, it's kind of like, it shows that he's in the trenches with them, with all the girls. Like he, in a way, he understands. He's there with them, fighting the good fight with the skincare and the procedures. Okay, I'll stop. Let's go through the rest of the video.
Stop.
So yeah, I can never bring myself to care this much about what some old irrelevant like rich guy that we're basically just using him for, you know, the money and the business connections. I could not care enough to like to even feel like personally victimized by it. But in this particular case though, it's actually going to work in our favor though, because just think about the optics of beautiful, young, poised woman amongst the most beautiful in the world, right? We're talking about the Miss Universe pageant. The optics of a beautiful young woman clearly in distress, clearly upset because somebody harassed her or was singling her out and unfair to her. That alone, that's gonna gain her so many like sympathy points, and people are very quick to melt in front of a beautiful face, especially a beautiful woman that is in distress. There's a saying in Japanese that as women, our tears are weapons, basically, right? And it's true. You can, and I'm not saying that she's using her tears as a weapon here. Like I think she's definitely genuinely distraught, and she's only 25, so it makes sense. Yeah, maybe if I was 25, I would also be upset and take everything personally, but I'm 36 now, right? So I really don't give a shit. Like I'm just there to find out where the free food is. But yeah, so it's going to work out in her favor though, in the end, right? Regardless of whatever the true intentions of that Nawat guy was, because everyone on her side now, just the optics alone of a beautiful woman being shunned or being singled out, this powerful rich old guy trying to humiliate this young beautiful woman that is just like trying to represent her country well and stand for all smart empowered women on a world stage. Yeah, that for sure, that's gonna translate into a check for her, a cute check, to be blunt. So good for her. I hope she capitalizes on this moment.
And I think that's not fair because I'm here and I do everything okay.
She's saying like, I'm doing everything right. So in her mind, she's like, I'm following all the rules. I'm not stepping, you know, I'm not breaking any rules, and like, I'm not inconveniencing anyone.
I don't mess with anyone. I just try to be kind. I'm trying to give my best, and he just shot me.
I don't understand why he shouted at me and told me to shut up. He didn't say shut up. He said why are you talking while I'm talking? You know, again, not defending him. I think it was an asshole move. Particularly when he said security, that's when I was like, oh dude, you're cooked. Because I was giving you the benefit of the doubt up until that point, but when he said security, I was like, all right, well, at this point, you know, I can't even feel bad for you, even if he's kind of in large part being like hung by social media or by the internet for, I think, largely on miscommunications and false assumptions about what he actually meant. Because again, I don't think he said the word dumbhead, but that part when he called out the security, that was a pointed attempt at trying to, you know, assert his power. But the thing is, like, in his mind, that's not what he was trying to do, right? In the grand spectacle of things, in the grand picture, what we are looking at is that, oh, this is an old guy, he's trying to humiliate and put under his thumb all of these beautiful young women. I'm sure that in his head, that's like that's not at all what the issue is. In his head, he feels like, hey, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I'm supposed to be the MC, and why did this young lady, first of all, get so upset? Because I don't think, like, by the time the they were deep into that back and forth, and then the other girls started to stand up, I don't even think at that point that he even realized or knew that she thought he had just called her dumb to her face, right? So I think, like, that is where the communication started to rapidly deteriorate, because she was reacting from the vantage point of, you just called me dumb in front of this entire room of people, and why did you single me out, right? And then but from his perspective, he's like, oh my god, why is she having such a strong reaction to just me expressing my disappointment at people not following the rules and not and I wasn't, like, from his perspective, again, I'm not like taking sides or anything, but he's like, what is so wrong, or like what was so abusive about me just pointing out that she was one of the people that did not post the sponsored social media posts that she promised that she was supposed to do, contractually obligated, maybe, I don't know the specifics, but like whoever agrees to participate in the Miss Universe pageant, they're all supposed to post sponsored social media posts. So why didn't she do it? So anyway, she's still, yeah, like, you can tell she's very, very emotionally choked up and upset, and she's trying to hold her composure.
And he just said to me, and shut up, and a lot of different things. And I think the world needs to see this, because we are empowered women, and this is a platform for our voice. And no one can shut our voice.
Okay.
And no one will do.
And she's very cute. I have to say, she's very likable and very cute. And you know what? Good for you, girl. She's right. No one can shut your voice down. However, no one was trying to silence you, though, necessarily. You know, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, I really hope whoever watches this understands where I'm coming from. I think it's a cultural thing. And I think it's a matter of, 25-year-old girls taking everything personally because they're still in that mode of, they want to prove themselves to people, and they're still like wanting to be a social justice warrior, wanting to correct and fight back at every single guy that they perceive to make some sort of slight against them. You'll largely grow out of that by the time you hit 30, trust me. Because you realize that, like, it doesn't even matter, because nothing is going to come from such an interaction that's going to infringe on your everyday life. So it doesn't matter. B, most of the time, it actually really was just a misunderstanding or an assumption on your part. Like, you will never know for 100% sure what the other side is saying, but once you really come into yourself as a woman and you strengthen your self-concept and everything, I don't know, like me, I walk around, I feel like I'm on the other side of the spectrum now. Like, I'm so preoccupied with myself, and I assume the positive so much in every situation that there were probably times that people have actually legitimately tried to shade me, and it legitimately just went over my head because I take everything as an actual compliment, or just like, oh wow, what a weird thing to say, or what an interesting thing to say. And then, maybe they really did want to throw a subtle jab at me, but I'm so like Pollyanna, head in the clouds these days, that I take everything as a compliment anyway. So whatever tactic that they tried to cut me down a peg, it always backfires on them anyway, because I took it as a compliment, right? And then that by that point, they cannot reveal their hand. They can't be like, oh wait, I didn't mean it as a compliment, I meant it as a diss, right? Because that would totally expose their ass in front of the entire group. So then it's almost like they have to go with the story that they meant to compliment me to begin with. Like, this is the chess game, okay, that I want all of the girls that are watching me, but all of us ladies in as a collective, no matter what age you are, this is the level of chess that I personally want to see more of being played out in the world. But interestingly enough, though, I said before that I think this particular situation, it's so ironic. It tickles me that at the end of the day, even though I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of misunderstandings that happened, and this all could have been avoided if people if it wasn't just like so much confusion and tension caused by a clash of different cultures all in the same room. Like, so the entire thing did not have to happen, right? Except that it just takes one person or one girl, Miss Mexico in this case, to really take things to heart and feel like she's the one being singled out and being humiliated. Which I truly I have sympathy for, but it's like, to me, that was not the chess move that I personally would have hoped for. But yet, ironically, it inadvertently is turning out to be like probably better publicity than she or any of the contestants in this year's Miss Universe could have ever imagined. Or it's better than any, PR campaign that they could have paid for with money, right? This is actual gold. So this is gonna turn into a real bag for them, I feel like. Not just her, but there's another one, the current Miss Universe, Victoria from Denmark. See, I did my research before this one. So the current reigning Miss Universe title holder, whose name is Victoria, she is also one of the ones that walked out of the room and in solidarity with Miss Mexico. So they're all gonna get a bag out of this, all right? And at this point, I don't want to see them waste this opportunity. They better be starting out. They better be launching their eyelash brands, and I want to see shoe brands, dress brands, makeup brand launches in the coming months. Don't waste this opportunity, right? And it's perfect because that Nawat guy, he should be the one to take the fall because he's a rich old man. So it doesn't matter if you're a rich old man and people hate you in this world. You can still go on living a good life. If the tables were turned, though, that would be a more difficult situation to navigate. Like, if you were it's much, much harder to be a beautiful woman that is reviled and canceled by the world, because people will remind you of that every single day. And people have active, vicious hatred towards beautiful women who they perceive to be less than perfect, right? Amber Heard, anyone? But if you're a man, you can do a large number of heinous things, bar a couple of extreme things like, I don't know, murder. But you can be an asshole. You can be caught in a moment like this where you really bombed in an attempt to express your frustration. Like, you took his frustration out on the wrong people. You could say he should have taken it up with the country directors that were telling their girls to do all of these shady things, or that maybe in his mind they weren't respecting the local Thai sponsors, or maybe in extension Thailand itself, right? So there's a huge possibility of all of those kind of undercurrent of sentiments go on in Nawat's head. But at the end of the day, because he's a guy, he's pretty much immune, because the public is gonna have a field day hating on him, and they'll make their memes for a couple of weeks, and then they'll forget about it, right? Because he's a guy, and he's going to continue to be the rich chairperson and CEO of whatever company in Thailand, and it's not going to affect his everyday life. Whereas if it was a woman that did the same kind of thing, or made the same level of social faux pas that was like captured on camera and broadcast to the entire world, that woman would have her entire life ruined, probably, which is a very, very sad distinction to draw, but I think worth pointing out here. So
that to me, and I don't have a problem with any one of you. You have my respect, and I love your country. That he treats me without any reason just because he has problems, that is not okay.
It's not without any reason, okay, girl? Like, you were all supposed to post social media content, and some of you did not, right? And it may not, I'm sure, like, yeah, from her perspective, it's valid. She feels like maybe she was caught between a rock and a hard place, or like her loyalty is to her country director. But, you know, people have differing perspectives on that, right? Of course, the director of the entire Miss Universe organization is going to feel that your ultimate loyalty should be to the organization, the Miss Universe organization. It shouldn't be to your country director. But like, again, when you get older, you're going to realize that, okay, you're going to be able to like zoom out more and see the situation for what it is, and that's going to allow you to not take everything so personally, right? Because even if somebody gets upset with you, you're going to be able to understand that they're not really upset with you. It's more just like the entire situation and all the different powers that be or factors that play is just a shit show through and through. Like, it doesn't really have anything to do with personal vendettas or grudges. I mean, people do hold grudges and form alliances and stuff too, but that's an entirely different discussion, right?
And I hope that everyone at home, every woman, doesn't matter if you have a big dream, if you have a crown, if that's take away your dignity, you need to go. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so this is where she won me over. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, go off, girl, for the first 80% of her speech. But I really did like how she closed it out here.
That is not okay. And I hope that everyone at home, woman, doesn't matter if you have a big dream, if you have a crown.
It doesn't matter if you have a dream or a crown.
If that
takes away your dignity,
away your dignity, you need to go. Thank you.
No, I mean, yeah, mic drop. That's I like the fact that she closed out with that statement. To be honest, I wasn't expecting her to end with that, but again, whether or not it can be so neatly like 100% applied to this case, it's a very, very important message, I think. And I think it's great that just the virality of this moment alone, like someone out there needed to hear that, right? That no amount of money, no crown, no title is worth your integrity and your dignity. That I stand 10 toes down on as well. So congratulations to Miss Mexico. I feel like she won basically, right? So yeah, and then this is the former Miss Universe, or I guess the current reigning title holder that won last year, Denmark.
All the women's rights. I'm so sorry. We need to do something bigger. We have respect for everyone, but this is not about things.
It's so funny. Like, the way that they talk is so pageant girl coded. It's something that I myself have become intimately familiar with, I feel like, through my journey walking in these Chinese traditional wear beauty pageants throughout this entire year. Like, they teach us how to talk like this as well. They're like, yeah, you have to make sure you're poised, and then even if you cry, if you win the Grand Prix and you cry, make sure that you smile through your tears. No, but I love it. I mean, this is like part of the benefits, I feel like, that come from participating in a pageant. You learn how to be more poised and how to express your thoughts in a very graceful, like stately manner, because you never know, you might marry a prince someday and have to address the entire nation.
To trash another girl is beyond disrespectful.
Trash is a strong word. Like, yeah. A trash is a strong word. When I saw Nawat up there complaining about people not doing the proper sponsorships, or perhaps also promoting certain gambling sites when they're not supposed to, because gambling is illegal in Thailand, right? I never got from it that he was trashing or singling out Miss Mexico or any other girl. I'm so sorry. Again, I wasn't there for the whole ceremony, so I could be completely off base, but that's not the sense that I got whatsoever. It was more so just, okay, he's kind of like taking out his frustration on these pageant contestants, which is kind of a shitty thing to do, right? Because they're not really, like, they don't have a choice but to be there and sit through his speech. So it's kind of like, you could say he's taking advantage of his power, and he's using his position as the director of Miss Universe to feel powerful and to wield his power over these girls. But then in the end, though, clearly it backfired on him, because this is not a bunch of like Thai girls that are just used to these antics from the old men in their generation or in their country that would just like sit down and roll their eyes until it's over. This is women from 75 different countries, some of which have quite like outspoken cultures, right? Or the norm for the women of that culture is to be a little more outspoken and a little more fiery. So yeah, like he really caught a huge stray this time. I feel like I don't think he was anticipating this type of response or fiasco at all. But trash, I don't think that's what was happening exactly. No one was trashing anyone. It was more like he was just kind of throwing his own tantrum up there on stage. And then she happened to, you know, make the unfortunate choice to get in the crossfires by like talking back to him, which annoyed him even more. It's like, it's more nuanced than that. But trash, I don't know if I can agree with that.
That's why I'm taking my phone and I'm going.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Oh my god, just leave him!
Oh. Wow, this just makes me want to visit Thailand even more. First, there was the White Lotus season 3 earlier this year, which I was not a fan of the finale at all, by the way. I was quite disappointed, but anyway, this video is not about that. I really want to go to Thailand now. Okay, let's look at the TikTok apology.
If anyone...
So he looks like very stunned here. I think he is genuinely confused as to what went down. I don't even know if he knows at this point that Miss Mexico thought that he called her dumb. Like, I don't know if that part was even made clear to him yet. But later on, you'll see in the final apology video, it seems like someone finally explained to him like the nuance of the situation, but
feeling not good. If anyone not comfortable,
oh my God,
if anyone
it's talking so slow.
affect,
If anyone is affected by this or they're uncomfortable,
I do
I
apologize for everyone. But I did apologize to the rest of the girl in the room around 70.
See, okay, and you know, I'm not like making fun of anyone's accent, but you see how he says the word apologize, right? He says apologize. He doesn't even say the hard Z at the end. Like, this is, so I think dumb head, he wasn't saying dumb head. It's very plausible to me that he was saying damage, like you are damaged, or you, I don't know, you caused damage or you caused a delay, something. Like, I don't think it was dumb head. Sorry, I know that I said that a thousand times already on this live, but as someone who has lived in Japan for the past 12 years. Like, I was born and raised in America, so that's why I'm a native English speaker, obviously. But as someone who has like been to several different Asian countries, and I've been in other situations where misunderstandings like this can happen just because of difficulty in understanding different accents, right? Like, not for me. I'm used to understanding a plethora of different accents because that's what I've been around in, like, certainly, well, in my upbringing as well. But after I moved to Japan after college graduation, I've been working here for the past 12 years, and I found myself in lots of international global teams where there's all sorts of accents happening in the global meetings, right? So you have French accents, Indian, German, like, you develop a very unique talent after a while to somehow like decipher what everyone is saying. And so I can imagine for someone who has grown up or has not, who has grown up not having had as much exposure as someone like me to different accents that people can have, or different ways, different, I don't know what you would call it, affectations in English, even English dialects have, like, there are different countries have vastly different English dialects. Even if you look at UK English versus American English, some of the common words that we use mean totally different things depending on if you say them in the UK or if you say them in America. So, like, I think he said damage, right? Which also sounds bad, but maybe like in Thai style English, maybe that's not meant as a bad or an accusatory thing. Maybe it's just like a normal way of describing the situation. So this is the thing. I don't know. I've never been to Thailand in particular, so I would love to hear a native Thai person or like a bilingual Thai and English person weigh in on this. But I'm thinking, like, my intuition, my spidey senses, having spent the majority of my life growing up around and having to collaborate with, going to school with, working with people with all different types of accents and English dialects that correspond with where they grew up, I just have this like spidey sense that I don't think he meant anything directly derogatory towards Miss Mexico.
I always try to taking care everyone, give a higher standard, 5-star service.
5 stars.
I prepare everything.
Yo, guys, this is just a Thai rich uncle. Like, come on, really? This is the one that you guys want to sacrifice this time around? I mean, I guess it is a new season. I guess what did they say? Like, every time the weather changes or every season, the universe picks a billionaire or a CEO to sacrifice, right? Holy crap, it's true. Because remember, it was Ocean Gate, and then the Coldplay concert that the CEO of the astronomer, whatever startup company, AI company, I don't remember, who cheating with his HR lady, Luigi Mangione unalived the CEO of United Healthcare, and now we have Mr. Nawat, CEO of Miss Universe organization, his own company, I'm sure, in Thailand.
For everybody, every country, that I wish to make a history of Miss Universe 74 with the organization. This is my dream.
It's giving glass skin, though. It really is.
But I know sometimes many conditions happen.
Okay.
If you can remember, you will check every situation.
I'm gonna.
Announcement from everything. All the delegates, they are not false. but maybe they confused
Maybe they're
when they read the announcement. Do what I want to do. It's very complicated.
okay. It's very complicated. Like lots of stuff happened in the background.
So we will solve the problem by first, I'm meeting with Miss Universe organization directly this afternoon in Thailand, around more than 1 hour, because no one has authority for Miss Universe in Thailand now. If Kun Ann still working and Kun Ann in Bangkok, I think it's not a problem at all.
Okay, I didn't get completely what he said, but I think so. He's saying that like basically they revoked power from Thailand, which I guess I'm assuming that refers to him as far as leading or like spearheading the Miss Universe 74 ceremony. Is that what he's alluding to here? Like they've stripped him of, the power as director of this year, or like maybe forever.
So after we discussed and meeting, I asked for one CEO coming to work in Thailand at this moment, urgent.
Okay, so there's another CEO of the Miss Universe coming to Thailand. All right, anyway, let's go to, I don't know what event this is, but there's a final video of him apologizing to the contestants on stage. So they're all dressed up, like the girls are in their gowns and he's in a suit and everything. And again, I'm not like defending him or anything. I don't know his history. I don't know if he's like known to be a sleazy businessman or if he was largely unknown and invisible or but the fact that he apologized so quickly and so many times, again, it makes me inclined to think that he really was like blindsided and just completely clueless about why this incident blew up so much. Like it really makes me think that this is not something that it makes me think that it was a true misunderstanding that went down, because if he really was this horrible, like arrogant, misogynistic guy that the whole internet is now decided in half a second that he was, if he truly was that, wouldn't he double down on what he said? Like wouldn't he come on TikTok live to lecture us instead? But no, like, and I'm not saying that his apology was perfect, but to me the tone is very like confused, very stunned, and he wants to make it right, and unfortunately there's still that layer of just cultural and language barrier that is making it more confusing for everyone. Let me see, do I have
security?
Okay, this is not okay, this one.
I want to give this opportunity.
So this is, I don't know what ceremony or event this was, but they're all on stage now. And he's making a public apology again to everyone. So I don't think, like, he's not too proud to apologize. He's not too proud to admit that he did something wrong or he didn't handle the situation in the best way.
I want to give this opportunity to, first, I have to apologize for the delicate even effect and not comfortable it happened. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so sorry. Shit happens. So what I'm confused, like what's going on? Did they see, this is the thing, right? How do I word this without the entire pitchfork mob coming after me? Okay, I'm using this event to parlay into like a larger discussion about, womanhood, new age feminism, like new feminism, we can call it, modern day feminism, all these different movements and all of these different awakenings that we're having as the feminine collective this day and age. I just want to say one thing. I need to get this out before I forget. when I first saw the original clip of Miss Mexico talking back to him and him calling the security on her, which then prompted like at least a dozen other contestants to stand up and walk out with Miss Mexico in solidarity with her, amongst them being, okay, so included in the women who all decided to stand up and walk outside with Miss Mexico, it was the current Miss Universe title holder, Victoria from Denmark. She also made a public show of defending her sister, right? That to me, like that gesture was extremely, extremely encouraging to see. Because I'll be honest with you, I would not have expected to see that. If you told me just the first half of the story that, hey, it seems like the director of Miss Universe organization singled out and tried to humiliate one contestant, Miss Mexico, on stage. If you told me just that part of the story, I would not have expected any of the other girls to put their own livelihood, but I would not expect any of the other contestants to put their own chance at winning the crown on the line by walking out with her, which is sad to say, but it's a competition, so I would not have expected that at all. It's kind of like at the Oscars, right? Like if somebody, or like, I don't know, maybe that's not a good analogy, but it's like any awards show, any competitive situation. I wouldn't expect my direct competitor to like withdraw themselves from the competition as well, just to make a statement about how they did, just if I was treated unfairly by a casting director or something, right? I would not expect the other people auditioning for the role to stand up for me, essentially. And it's sad, but that's life. It's a dog eat dog world out here, and everyone is just fighting for their own big break or their own big shot. So the fact that they all stood up and immediately like showed solidarity to Miss Mexico, it made me, that really, really moved me. That showed me that, wow, sisterhood is not dead and it's a powerful thing, right? But then here's where my issue comes in, okay? And I'm not criticizing these pageant contestants in particular though, but I'm just saying overall, okay, I could not find confirmation as I was doing research for this that said any of the contestants that stood up and walked out, including Miss Mexico, I could not find confirmation that they actually withdrew from the competition, right? And from the looks of this clip, nobody actually withdrew their candidacy for Miss Universe. It was more so like a very, visually jarring video where, so it seemed like from the actions that they took, it was symbolic of, oh, okay, they stood up and they walked out. So, but did they actually withdraw? Are they actually on the next plane out of Thailand? It seems to me like no, because I tried to find information about, is Mexico still in the running? Is she not? It seems like she's still in the running, and everyone else is also still staying put. And so I'm not saying that I want them to purposely all withdraw just to drive home the point in this situation. No, I feel like this is kind of like a perfect storm that I feel like now they can all parlay into a really, really dope advanced chess move, right? Like they can all capitalize. I don't care which contestant it is. I think there's 75 girls in total. They can all get a bag off of this as far as I'm concerned. So, and I do think that staying in the pageant obviously is going to only further perpetuate the publicity that they're getting off of this one incident. However, in principle though, I do find it disappointing, but I just find it like, if we want to be taken seriously as women, if we really want to show the world that the sisterhood is not to be messed with, because it's true, if women all decide to mobilize and we all collectively decide to raise our standards and demand more pay in the workplace, demand more maternity leave, demand men to rise to a higher standard when they're courting us during dating, we all know that if every single woman, or even just the majority of women in the world, decide to mobilize and stand firm in that decision, then the systems that are in place in the world right now, the men, the employers, everyone would have no choice but to adjust their behavior towards us accordingly, right? They would have no choice but to give us what we want if we withdraw, our energy. But the problem is, okay, if you make a big show of walking out of a room as if you're withdrawing yourself from the Miss Universe competition, and then behind you follows like a dozen to 2 dozen all other girls, that's an amazing optic. That's what do I want to say? That's an amazing image in terms of optics, right? But then if you don't back that up with actually withdrawing from the competition, like basically you're just doing a big thing for show, to show that, hey, we're all for women's empowerment and we're not going to stand for this. We are not going to accept being talked down to like that. If you just do it for show, but then you don't actually follow through with the action of like basically sacrificing, your chance to compete in this competition that you probably prepared months, years for, then it kind of doesn't mean anything. Like it takes away the weight of the message that you're trying to send. Do you know what I mean? So in this particular situation, like, yeah, Miss Universe, of course, everyone should just, calm down. Noah is apologizing like 5-10 times over. He's like crying at press conferences and he can't even scrunch his face up because his face has too much Botox in it. In this case, of course, it'll be boring anyway if like half the contestants actually dropped out, and then that would essentially dead the entire momentum of this amazing PR opportunity. But I feel like there are too many instances nowadays of performative women's empowerment in which like people get up on stage and they make all these big speeches and declarations about how we're girl bosses and we can do it all and we're goddesses. We're not going to take this and that from men or from employers. We're not going to accept less paid than the men. But then it's like, if you talk a big talk, but you don't actually take the actions to show people that you mean business, if you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk, then your words become more and more weak and diluted, and they're like the less seriously we're going to be taken by the rest of the world. So that's the part that I just find disappointing, that like it would actually be so badass if they all truly withdrew from the competition. Like if every single member, if all 75 girls withdrew and just left the Miss Universe organization like a dead carcass in the middle of the road, like roadkill, that would be epic. But I have yet to see anything close to that level of true, I don't know what you would call it, like true activism or like true dedication to all these causes that like modern day women claim that they're for, and yet you're not putting your money where your mouth is. You're not walking the walk. And I just fear that, yeah, like this is Miss Universe is on its own. I mean, certainly now it's going to be like, I think Oscars level buzz, but even before that, Miss Universe, it's the biggest beauty pageant. It's the Olympics of beauty pageants, right? So it already had a fair amount of publicity to begin with. And so to have a big show of like you're going to walk away from this competition and this huge opportunity with your dignity intact, to show that, but then ultimately still participate in the competition after everything gets moved over and Nawat apologizes on national TV to everyone, it just takes the wind out of the original message, if you know what I mean. And I find that disappointing. And I fear that the more times this happens, if it happens again on such a large scale, the more the world is not going to be inclined to take women seriously. You know, because you can't make people change or respect you through just yapping and complaining. You have to actually back it up with action and consequences, especially for men, right? Like men only understand consequences and actions. So how do you expect the true message of feminism or women's empowerment to be strengthened when something like an opportunity to actually demonstrate that on such a large scale with the Miss Universe contestants still ultimately turns out to be nothing more than like a PR stunt, even though I know it wasn't a stunt in the sense that they planned it out. I highly doubt that they orchestrated for this to happen. If they did, they would be like next level genius, PR marketing geniuses. But okay, so let's look at Nawat's.
I want to give this opportunity to first, I have to apologize for the delegate. If anyone affect and not comfortable, it happened. I'm so sorry.
Shit happens. I'm so sorry. So he faced them. He bowed. I feel like that's, you know, to me that reads as very sincere, and in Asian culture as well. Like the fact that he's the chairman of the organization, but he's bowing to them to show them that he's genuinely sorry for how things went down.
And also, I will sorry for Universe fans around the world too. But I wish all the true message must be the right, because I saw so many messages.
Yeah, he's like, okay, I'm sorry for all the fans watching as well, but I hope that you get the true message because there's so many like false narratives going around, is what he's alluding to here.
Like some word, I didn't say that.
Yeah, some word, I didn't say that. He's talking about the dumb head comment. I believe that he did not actually mean to say the word dumb. I wholeheartedly don't believe that he went into this deliberately meaning to insult Miss Mexico in such a pointed way. And not because I think he's like such an amazing person. I just don't think, like, again, that's, you would jump to that conclusion if you were an emotional person, and honestly if you didn't have that much exposure to other cultures. It kind of reminds me of like when, you know, like, I'm sorry to use this example, but I think it was there was a case of like some high school or school in the US, or like university, sorry, I think it was a university, and then in the US, and then some Black American students basically complained about a Chinese history class, or like Chinese language, maybe Chinese history or something to do with Chinese culture, in which the teacher used a Chinese word that sounds like the N word in English. But it's not the N word. It means like that thing, or it's kind of like a filler word in Chinese. If you're Chinese and you speak Mandarin, you know what word I'm talking about, okay? Nega. It's not the N word in English, but like some Black American students at this particular university were upset that it sounded similar to the N word in English, and they actually wrote a letter of complaint to like the dean of the school or something like that. That is the level of, you know, to me, that's like, okay, come on, guys. This is why it's so important to travel as often as you can and to expose yourself to other cultures, because that's not even, I don't know what to say to that, to be honest with you. Like, you got me there. You got me stumped, because it's two different languages, you know, like it's not. So I think that's what's going on here. Like, people literally are not used to hearing somebody talk in a Thai accent. And they're just like running with this narrative of, oh, he called her dumb. Can you believe it? He called her dumb in front of everyone. Okay, at this point, I'm gonna say I 100% don't believe that he called her dumb. And he's saying it here too. He's like, I did not use a certain word. Like, I hope people can look into the facts and not just believe whatever rumors or whatever false interpretation they hear.
Yes, must be the right, because I saw so many messages like some word I didn't say that
I didn't say that.
before.
Yeah.
Please check everything in our website to keep posting there.
Yeah, please check the updates on our website. Okay, so maybe damn, I should have watched this whole video before I came on here, because maybe they already released a statement on the Miss Universe website. Did someone just knock at my door? Oh my God. Am I being loud? Maybe I'm being loud. Okay.
Because someone they put very bad word on the post, so they're sharing together. By the way, it's past. Okay, are you happy? All right. Hey.
So awkward. Okay. But yeah, okay, see, even the ending, like, some of you are so sensitive, you're gonna be like, oh, he's mocking them, he's asking, are you happy? No, he's an awkward ass Asian rich uncle. Okay, please guys, stop. Like, that's I totally, I have like shared memories. What's it called? This is like a deja vu moment for me. I definitely have had in the past like other Asian, like, I don't know, Chinese uncles or Chinese dads of my, Chinese American friends in America. This is literally how they talk. My own dad, even, he's definitely said that in that exact tone to me before, like, oh, you happy? Like, it's not a mocking tone. It's their way of, like, because they from their generation, they can't express emotion, so it comes out very stilted and weird. And that's their attempt at, like, if I was crying and he took me out to see a movie or to do some shopping to cheer me up, and then we're on the car, it's like we're riding in the car on the way back home, and that is totally something that he would say to me in that exact tone, like, oh, okay, are you happy now? And it comes out like that because he doesn't, like, express emotion the way that me or you would as a millennial that is on TikTok 24/7. So, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, he definitely shot himself in the foot. I'll say, definitely when he made that security comment, that's when I think, like, the entire tide sort of turned against him, or the majority of the viewers turned against him, because up until the point where he was kind of going back and forth with her, I think there's more people that were probably looking at it from the lens that I was than you would think. Like, obviously the vocal ones were the most emotional commentators, so they were the ones that jumped in with the assumption that, oh my God, he's calling her stupid, and, like, this is a disgrace. How can you let such a misogynistic, dumb man be in charge of this organization? But I think, like, yeah, I don't know. My honest opinion, I don't think that any hard feelings need to be had over this. And okay, I'm not gonna play the sound again, but, like, if you look at his mannerisms and everything here, he looks genuinely sorry to me. I'm sorry. Like, you can disagree, but he looks genuinely like he's struggling, and he's being very, very careful here, because he's like, okay, it really bit me in the ass before when I wasn't careful with my words. So he's really, like, thinking through every single word in English before he says it out loud, because he's like, I don't want to make another mistake that could possibly be taken as a different word that I didn't mean to say. So I almost definitively want to say that, like, this was completely all stemmed from the most basic misunderstanding that you possibly imagine. Like, she thought she heard the word dumb, and he did not say dumb. right? But at this point, it's too late. So he even alludes to that at the end here. He's like, anyway, it's in the past, right? Like it happened, you know, shit happens. So you can't rewind back, even though he's like trying to tell people to check the updates on the website to get the story straight, to get the facts straight, right? But I think he knows that like the damage has been done, like his reputation has been ruined, but I think he still, I guess, like for the sake of the fans, for the mental well-being of the fans, I think that's why he's urging people to please double check what I said, because it's not the word that was actually written in the caption on the screen. That's not what I meant to say to her. So I hope, you know, I hope she knows that too, for her own sake, right? Because that's horrible. Yeah, if indeed somebody actually said to her face that she was being dumb for not posting the sponsored post that she was supposed to, then yeah, I can definitely see how that would rile her up emotionally, especially if you're in a foreign country and I don't know how long they've been there. Maybe, you know, they're all quite young, so maybe they miss their families and they're experiencing culture shock. I can definitely see how all of the circumstances can kind of cause you to be a little bit more on edge and a little bit more like on guard and quick to assume that people are attacking you, when in reality it's just an awkward old Asian rich uncle, you guys. Like I don't know. I personally, I don't think Papa Nawat deserves to be impeached over this, but again, it seems like the damage is done. Like they're already removing him, and the actual CEO, like the international Miss Universe CEO, is gonna take over. Maybe, I don't know, Mario Bucaro. Yeah. Let me try and see if I can find information on what exactly are they gonna do for the final ceremony now. But yeah, I mean, maybe I think it's still up in the air. Seems like yeah, I cannot find any definitive statement about whether or not he's been removed. But even if it is, again, it seems like he's accepted his fate, and perhaps it is for the best, you know, at the end of the day, because perhaps it was only a matter of time before, even if he was able to like not make the blunder this time, perhaps at the next ceremony, like it seems like he's by nature just a little bit clumsy or a little bit blundering maybe. So it was only a matter of time before he was going to put his foot in his mouth in some way. And maybe it's for the best that they get somebody with more, I don't want to say like better speaking skills, but yeah, like I guess somebody that has more higher social awareness for this specific situation. Because I don't think, again, like if he was giving a speech at a Thai language business convention or whatever, I'm sure that everyone would understand him fine and he would be a perfectly fine orator. But because he's speaking in English, which is not his first language, and because the misunderstanding of him calling her dumb when he actually didn't, which I believe him that he did not use the word dumb, it just came out like, you know, sounding that way to her. I lost my train of thought. But yeah, what do you guys think? I don't think we should go too hard on Papa Nawat. He seems genuinely sad here. See, he's afraid to even like breathe now, because he's like, crap, I just say one innocent word in English and they take it as a curse word or something. So he's like, maybe anyway, I will be following this drama, so I'm kind of tickled because I did not, this is the last news piece that I expected to enter my feed today, and especially with the fact that I personally am participating in a big pageant at the end of this year. It's going to be held on January 4th, but yeah, basically like this month in December, I'm going to be dedicating a lot of time to putting together my outfit and my walk and my speech and everything. There's a lot of stuff to do actually, but I'm not going to stress over it. Like I'm not, banking my entire existence and livelihood on it. But then again, it's not Miss Universe, so again, I'm not like I can imagine the girls that are participating in Miss Universe. It's obviously a lot more high stakes for them, and they probably like they spend a lot of money, I'm sure, on the flights and everything to make it over there, the hotel stays. I don't know if the organization pays for that. I doubt that they do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if they're all just competing, then I'm pretty sure they're having to pay for their own lodging and travel fees and the dresses, the gowns. They have to have like multiple gowns and for multiple different competitions or divisions within the event. So I can imagine how much that all costs. But yeah. He didn't kill anyone, okay, guys? I feel like it was all blown out of proportion. I don't know. It makes me sad when misunderstandings like this happen in Asia and it gets broadcast to the Western world, like to the English-speaking faction of social media without people getting the proper story straight the first time, because the Western viewers tend to just grab onto and run with the most sensational narrative or version of the narrative that they can get their hands on. And yeah. I don't feel bad for him because he's a billionaire, so whatever, he can cry in his Ferrari, but don't impeach Papa Nawat, okay? He didn't mean any harm. It's the awkward Asian grandpa uncle that wants to bring Yeah, I think he said damage, but it came out sounding like dumb. Exactly. No, someone on Reddit who I think is like a local either Thai person or they live in Thailand, like they live in Bangkok, said that he meant to say damage because it wasn't dumb. It said dumb head in the caption. I've never heard anyone, even if they're not a native English speaker, use the phrase dumb head. Dumb ass, maybe, right? Like you're a dumbass. It's not a possibility. Like, why would you think that the leader of a pageant organization would say that to someone? I highly, highly doubt. And you can tell from like, we've seen quite a bit of him talking throughout this live. There's like, yeah, he has 2 apology videos. He actually has 3 apology videos. There's one of him at a press conference as well, where he's like crying and he's like unable to scrunch his face up because there's too much Botox in his cheeks. So like, again, I feel like in a way, he shows solidarity to the contestants by doing his own beauty procedures as well. Like he understands the pain of beauty maintenance, okay? I feel like he's in the trenches with us, you know? It's hard for me to hate him. I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? But I think, yeah, we have 3 videos of him now speaking. The original video, of course, it's not him at his best moment. He was obviously irritated about the shady things that the different country directors were doing, and he took it out wrongfully probably on the contestants. But then at the same time, he also probably, from his point of view, he feels that the contestants have their own responsibility as well to abide by the terms of their contract. So I don't think that he's necessarily wrong. But yeah. I can't believe I talked about this for like 2 hours. I thought I was going to briefly go through the story for 45 minutes, but no, I'm just fascinated and tickled that this came out at the perfect timing of me participating in my first huge scale pageant at the end of this year. In 2016, another girl had the same thing at his pageant from Australia. I think asked him how she was during the pageant, and he said something about don't eat too much, and then that was drama too. Oh my goodness. Same guy? Know what? Yeah, it seems like he just has foot and mouth syndrome, you know? Um, like I have this this recognition, this immediate like physiological almost response. I had like when he's talking, there's this recognition inside me of like, this I have heard this before from one of my Chinese uncles or like a Chinese American professor, like old guy professor that I had in university, or my dad sometimes too. Like my dad also does that thing where he's like, "Oh, are you happy?" Like, or you know, he did it when he was alive. But as you said, English is not his native language, so he can be misunderstood so easily. Yeah, like I hate it when that happens, when the English speaking world misunderstands a non-native English speaker. It's just, it shows me that we still have a long way to go in terms of evolving as a collective human race. And this is why I know that everyone who watches my channel, we are able to think in perhaps more elevated, nuanced ways than perhaps some of the, you know, most of the people that are watching the Miss Universe pageant. No, I think he just has foot and mouth syndrome. I'm sorry. I don't think anything that he did was offensive at all. If it was me, okay, I'll just put it this way. If it was me, I would not even blink an eye, all right? Like I'm saying if I was Miss Mexico, and again, this is not to discount like her actual distress, and again, there's so many factors that come to play, like she's not in her home country. It might have even been, I don't know if it was her first time, probably for some of those girls, it's their first time stepping out of their home country at all, period, but maybe I assume it might be her first time in Asia, and they're still all relatively young, like they're in their 20s. So I understand how emotions can be heightened, but I just want to put out there, if it was me and I forgot to submit my sponsored social media post, hashtag ad, hashtag Thailand is the best, or whatever they wanted them to post, I would not feel any type of way, really. Even if he kicked me out in front of everyone, I'd be like, oh, yeah, sorry. Can I do that tonight? Or, you know, do I have to forfeit that point? Because, like, whatever. It's not disrespectful as a woman. Like, come on, girl. But, you know, she's going to get a bag out of this. So I hope all the girlies capitalize on this opportunity. And, yeah. Last thing I'll say before I go. So this just came to me. I remember that time on, was it The Face? Or one of those modeling shows that Naomi Campbell was a judge on. I think it was the UK Face, where this girl, this Caucasian model, but she wasn't like American. So I forgot where she was from, probably somewhere in Europe. And she was Caucasian, but English was not her first language. So she said something about like, oh, if you're not American or if you're not Black, then you don't have a chance of winning this competition. And I think Naomi misheard her to say that if you're Black, you don't have a chance of winning. So she went on this tirade against her, like, how dare you say something so racist? But that's not what she was saying. She was saying that it's probably likely that a Black girl is going to win this competition because there's so many stunning Black girls that I'm up against. I like that's what it sounded like to me, but Naomi, you know, she's the judge, so obviously they're going to go with her interpretation of what she heard. But that was not what the model said. And that one was even like crazier than this situation with Nawat's pronunciation to Miss Mexico, because like at least you can, you know, at least it's kind of like it's understandable that Miss Mexico heard dumb in the moment and then she just could not see past that. But in the Naomi Campbell situation, like the model was just using kind of roundabout language. She said like she was just using regular English grammar in an accent. If you're not American or Black, then you don't have a good chance of winning this competition, which granted, like
in general, it was kind of a weird thing to say. So like maybe she just shouldn't have said anything of that sort, but it definitely was not a racist statement. But Naomi took it that way, and then so many people in the comments were taking it that way as well. And I was just like, guys, what are we doing here? Like, do 90% of this comment section, do you need basic grammar lessons in English? I don't understand. She was European Baltic. Sorry, let me go back up here and read some of the messages I missed. Fun fact, Nawat wanted to be the franchise holder for MU Thailand back in 2013, but at the time, MUO denied him. So then he began MGI. So that's how Miss Grand came to be. Oh, Miss Grand International. Okay, so he's the head of Miss Grand International as well. Interesting. I know a couple of girls that are doing Miss Grand International that are also in this Chipao kimono hanfu competition with me. Or like yeah, some of well I don't know if they're walking with me in January, but like there's a lot of girls that came to the orientation, right? So some of them, like I checked their profiles on social media later, and they participated in Miss Grand International. That's why the tag is Miss Grand, the one and only. Oh, is he referring to himself? That would be funny. That would be iconic, actually. Off topic, but how do you get over breakups? Oh, Maya, I'm sorry if you're going through a tough time. I know it's a basic beat question, but I broke up with my boyfriend because the relationship was no longer serving me, and now I miss him. Well, yeah, I mean, I would have to know more details, but I have to go to sleep now. Sorry, because I do have to be in the office tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, if you broke up with him, though, I would say to you that at least that's a good position to be in. Like, you definitely, if you're going to break up, you definitely want to be the one doing the breaking up. And even if you wanted to like get back with them, I don't advise getting back with an ex, but I'm just saying, like, it works in your favor in any scenario, right? Whether you decide to stay broken up or if you want to get him back, like it's good to be the one doing the breaking up, because then they're the one that's gonna always feel like they were rejected by you. He wasn't making enough money for me. Yeah, so you can just like you know, you can work on yourself, always focus on yourself, and then maybe one day he'll come to his senses or make extra money and you can give him another chance as long as he pays a re-entry fee. She was European Baltic, I think. Oh yeah, you're talking about the face model competition thing with Naomi Campbell. But yeah, I think that girl, like, definitely it was not smart of her to mention anything about race or like black models, especially in front of Naomi. I mean, we know Naomi's history at having to deal with so much racism during her heyday in the modeling industry. So of course, like, have some common sense, know that she would be sensitive to that type of language. So I think that model was just not thinking, but I stand by her claim that she was not being racist at all, though, because she was literally just saying that if you're not American or black, she could sense that if you're like her, basically, she wasn't American or black, she could sense that she didn't have a chance in the competition. Which you also should not say anything coming from such a negative lens, right? Because why would you speak that onto yourself even? But anyway, Navrik, I'm so glad. Welcome. Yeah. It's so impromptu. Like, you can tell I was so not prepared because this is literally the last thing that I ever expected, or I didn't expect, to show up on my bingo card for the Q4 of 2025. But here we are. Okay, no, I'm not holding anything against Papa Nawat. I think he's fine. Like, I don't think he has any ill will. I don't think he meant to make anyone feel bad or disrespect women, whatever. Like, please calm down, guys. Just because he's kind of awkward and has a Thai accent, it's giving I don't own a passport, okay? Come on. But yeah, Great publicity, though. I'm definitely going to be tuned in to the final Miss Universe ceremony. When is it again? I'm putting this in my calendar right now, actually. And then I'm going to go to sleep because they're dragging me out to Ginza tomorrow to eat lunch and entertain people. The 74th Miss Universe pageant held at the Impact Challenger Hall in Thailand. Nonthaburi, Thailand. I thought this was Bangkok. Okay, interesting. I don't know where that is, but it says November 21st, 2025. Okay, I'm putting it down right now. Miss Universe or MU 2025. I will be tuned in. All right. This is going to be the best streaming numbers that they've seen in decades. Everyone needs to make a bag off of this. Okay, this was so fun, you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. Papa Nawat.